Hey everybody, Cody Menz here. Have another WoT's new video for you. Might be a little bit day late, but I'm here. Got a little bit tied up, busy yesterday. Have some Supertest news for you, weekend specials. As you see in the background here, there's a new 3D style for the KV2. Also, there was a Q&A on a Russian stream where I have a little bit of a glimpse of that, and I'll go over and skim over. I've read it all. A lot of it's not too relevant, but there are some little cherries to kind of pick out of it. So let's get started here. I also have a question for you guys. Please answer in the comments section if you could. If you had one or two questions to ask the World of Tanks developers working on something new here, whether it's like a thing already in the game that, you know, why is it like this and why don't you change it to this? Or, you know, something you'd like to see added to the game and you're wondering why, or, you know, if, you know, they plan on doing it, feel free to post some comments in the section below. Please no, why don't you remove Artie? None of that crap. It's just, yeah, not even going to read it. But yeah, feel free to comment in the, you know, comment section here. All right, so anyway, for the NA server, you have a experience weekend bonus. Nothing too crazy, you know, 2x crew. And also some missions where you can earn some goodies. 3 garage slots are, you know, pretty good for free-to-play players, but pretty easy stuff for this weekend. Twitch Prime, the Cosmic package is now out, where you can earn a Senlac, also a Waffentrager, the KS Waffentrager rentals, and also some discounts, and yeah, you know, some nice little goodies here. And also, you know, some challenges where you can earn some blueprints and whatnot. Moving on, so Wargaming Store, there's some anniversary stuff to where they put out some new stuff. There's some sales. Saw a few people bring it up, so figure, you know, if people do like to buy stuff like this, you know, it's definitely in the shop, and you're going to see a lot of stuff anniversary related. Moving on, update 1.9, common test number 3. Not really a huge change of things. Some really important stuff like fixing issues of the main drive sprocket of the 277 not getting dirty enough, but you know, nothing major. This patch, from my understanding, still slated to be released, I believe, April 21st to the 22nd, so not this upcoming week but the following week. So you know, nothing really changed there. Still a huge patch when it comes to changing the tech tree and adding in like collection tanks and changing tier 1 tier 6 tank HP. So some pretty big stuff there. Alright, now there's also some 3D styles. KV2, and there's a bunch of basically specials for that, and they're also selling the E75 TS and T34-3. The KV2 is a new style though, as you can see here, Crimson Legion it is called. And it looks pretty neat. You know, it's similar, you know, they went for something close to the Warhammer one for the KV2R, which is a premium. It doesn't fit on there, but, you know, it looks pretty nice. There's also, I think it still might be in the shop, the Progetto 46. There's the Safari 3D style, I believe is still for sale. You know, not the 2D style that, you know, we could get from the marathon, but nonetheless though, there's a 3D style for that. And we're gonna get to this next, but I might as well bring it up while I'm in the garage here. There's also this Cosmic style you can get for the Masters of Orion special that's going on with some missions in the game, which looks pretty darn cool. So in any event, lots of, you know, 3D customization and, you know, special styles. So again, Conquer the Stars and Master of Orion. There's a special going on where basically you can play in the game and basically get some stuff for World of Tanks, and also there's some specials on, you know, basically buying Masters of Orion and stuff like that. If you're interested in that game, you know, it's kind of a strategy game. It's something to where I think, you know, if you like World of Tanks for the strategy, you know, you would probably like this. But, you know, you have to have time to play it. That's my downside of I don't have enough time to play all the games I want to. So, yeah. But there's some stuff in the premium shop and also, you know, just playing the game, you know, World of Tanks and, you know, so on and so forth. You can get some freebies that look pretty nice. Moving on, so this is for Wargaming NA's live stream. You have Azarus, or if you watch their live stream live on Twitch, Tuesdays and Thursdays, little questions will pop up and you can win basically points for the extension and redeem them for some pretty sweet stuff in the game. The questions are not easy, so you definitely have to pay attention to the questions because it's very, they might ask you like, how many tanks did we spot the last game, or you know, something like that, to where you have to be paying attention to the questions, but it's something fun, interactive, and you can gain some pretty good, you know, goodies basically from it just for watching them live. Do note, you know, that's pretty important, but they pop up between every battle, so on and so forth. Moving on, so big Q&A. It was on Amway's stream. He's one of the larger World of Tanks Russian streamers, YouTubers, blah blah blah, but they had, you know, a Q&A with Anton, World of Tanks product director. So glancing over this, basically Wargaming still working from home, you know, due to the COVID-19 and everything like that. You know, they're all working from home and they're getting stuff basically accomplished from there. They said basically World of Tanks, they foresee it going on for at least the next 10 years, you know, them continuing to develop it, basically releasing new content. Average audience now for World of Tanks is 25 to 35, a little bit lower than the last time I saw them bring that up. They didn't know, or they haven't figured out who ordered the denial of service attack on them. It says the Russian server is designed for about 1 million players online. Now, when it comes to amnesty, there's a couple things that popped up here about the amnesty program that they have. Now, with this, from my understanding, it looks like they're not going to unban people, and who knows if this is just for the Russian server or not, but they have something for the anniversary event coming up this year, about middle of the year, where they said that they might unban people. It looks like they're going to take it case by case. Say if someone just like stupidly, I don't know, put something dumb in their username, or they talked about someone using a mod where, you know, someone disabled and, you know, they used something to try to help them, but it was a banned mod. They're going to take it on a case by case basis. They're not going to unban someone that put like, I don't know, something with Hitler and running around in the chat, basically. I don't know, like spewing a bunch of stupid stuff and continually getting banned and warned for it. We're using like really bad cheat mods and like cheating in clan wars or something major. They're not going to unban people like that, but the smaller infractions and stuff, they might unban those people. Alright, they talk about World of Tanks Classic. Maybe we'll see this pop up as like a permanent thing, but it's definitely coming up for the anniversary event. But basically they're looking to release WoT Classic, to where maybe it's just going to be back in the day when you just have American tanks, Russian, German, and American tanks. Maybe something like that, but it seems like they might have a WoT Classic, maybe a server up, you know, permanently, maybe for a long period of time due to the anniversary. So the maps that are most banned, this might just pertain to the Russian server, but nonetheless, Himmelsdorf, Minsk, and Ensk. And then the least banned ones, Lakeville, Mountain Pass, and Redshire. I'm pretty sure that this is Mountain Pass, but I could be wrong there. But more or less, you know, city, small maps seem to be banned more than, you know, larger maps. Now, they bring up modern tanks. Basically, there's no plan to release a separate game with modern tanks, and as of right now, there's enough content, you know, for them to release. You know, we have the Japanese TDs coming up, Italian heavy tanks, I believe British wheeled light tanks, and there's a lot of stuff that they can release. So there's no plans to basically release a separate Tanks 2.0 with modern tanks. However, you know, they don't completely rule that out in this answer, but again, you know, they're not really working on that from my understanding either. Now, this is talking about premium shells. They said approximately 5 to 20% of shells at tier 10 are fired with premium. However, they do note that, say, certain tanks here, and you can start reading ahead here, certain tanks don't fire a lot of gold, while others, and they do note the reward tanks like the Chieftain 279E fire a lot of gold, and specifically in certain modes, say like rank battles, almost 100% of rounds are fired premium, you know, while something with front lines, it's lower because you're facing just tier 8s and people are trying to play for credits and stuff. But they do note that it is an issue, and you know, we're definitely going to see some stuff about premium rounds hopefully this year. But you know, the 20% is probably the closer of the two numbers, because they were talking about how SPGs, you know, fire less and light tanks fire less, whereas mediums, heavies, and tank destroyers fire more premium rounds. You would think that light tanks would fire more premium rounds, but you know, as far as their data goes, light tanks fire less, even though they have less penetration. That kind of interested me. The bond shop, they talk about the renewal of bond shop. Last time we heard about this, they said about every 6 months, give or take a little bit. So we're getting close to that. However, it does depend on they're saying how many bonds that people have to spend, because you know, if they just keep chucking out a ton of stuff in a bond shop, no one can buy stuff. What's the point? They note that it's very expensive to make 3D styles. They ideally would like 2 to 3 3D styles for each tank in the game. That's pretty nice. They're not ever going to sell the T22 for bonds as of right now. That's sad face here. Let's see, they talk about the black market, which, you know, nothing, they understood some dislikes for the black market. However, you know, they do feel like it went well, it seems like. This was one that kind of confused me a little bit here. All these links are in the video description too, if you want to just pop over to them. No plans for the Waffentrager E100. Hell no, thank God. No new work on the battle pass. They're trying to see basically how it goes. From my understand, so they say there's a lot of questions right now, the price of it and also the contents. So it's nice that they're kind of taking player feedback on that. They're working on a 3.0 version of the referral program. You know, that's something to where I think a lot of people like the newer one that they do. This isn't really relevant. Like, they're not going to sell the Chieftain. Duh. So next big thing people are going to be happy about, the wheeled tanks. Basically what you can take from this is they're looking to change wheeled tanks, and basically for each wheel getting damaged, they're going to increase the terrain resistance penalty, so it slows down the wheeled tanks significantly more than they already do for damaging each wheel. They also thought about if that doesn't help, say if right now you damage a wheel and it slows the wheel tank down by 5%, like something small, maybe it's going to be 10-15%, something, you know, more significant, since you can't track them just from damaging one wheel. If that doesn't work, then they're going to go along or a little bit further and change performance characteristics like engine power, say traverse speed, stuff like that. That way, basically, they're going to take it in 2 steps and see if that fixes it, and then they're going to go a step further, rather than over nerf them and then have to rebuff them. They also are thinking about, from my understanding, like, this is perhaps, I think they are working on it, but again, like, that's just me guessing, but I think it's come up enough to where they plan on adding experience for damaging wheels. They also talk about, when it comes to the efficiency, basically highly skilled players do really well at them, whereas they are hard to play. So stat wise, you know, it definitely balances out, but really good players get a lot out of them, whereas, you know, people who aren't very good at the game struggle in them more so than other tanks. Now, they do note some interesting facts here. Basically, wheeled tanks travel almost 2 times more distance than the standard light tank, even though they're only about 20% more maneuverable as far as like top speed and stuff goes. So that, you know, little bit of a boost towards the top there actually is pretty significant. That's where they're looking to add in some penalties to slow them down a little bit more. Say if you do get, say, hit in a wheel, you're going to be much more likely to die, you know, instead of scoot away and run away. When it comes to damages, it says it damages about 12% more total tanks However, the overall damage in the battle is about the same in, you know, the battle. So they're shooting more targets, you're spreading more damage across more targets, but you're still doing about the same amount of damage in the whole battle. And they say they most often collide with allied vehicles. So, but in any event, that's the little Q&A here. I went over most of it. I skimmed over a couple things that I didn't think were very important. So I'm already trying to like scroll over here, but there's still more stuff. Still more stuff. Basically some stuff from Supertest. They're continuing to you know, change some tanks, mainly the E100 line, American, T110E5 line, and the IS4 line. Today we see some stuff about the VK 3601H, Tiger 1, Tiger 2, and yep, that's about it. Basically what you can expect, higher alpha on these guns, and significantly more armor on the Tiger 2. The front hull gets a little bit of a boost, 10 millimeters, and the turret front armor 185 millimeters to 245 millimeters. I think that's a little much in my opinion, but in any event, you know, from my understanding, they're also going to be buffing the forehead. The translation here is a little bit rough, but basically they're going to buff the, you know, right above the gun where you can overmatch it on the Tiger 2. I think they're doing that as well. You're still going to have the cupola weak spot and the lower glacis weak spot and the weak side armor, but they're buffing the upper hull and the turret front and adding more alpha basically to the gun lines. The Streb K, they're actively balancing this still, and this is on the 1.9 test server. It's not available, however it's a tier 9 reward tank. Might see that sooner than later, you know, with them trying to balance this ASAP. You know, they're trying to get another tier 9, you know, ready for us, so that'll be interesting. Last but not least, a little bit of fun stuff. If you would like some bonus codes, you'll have to try to find them, because it's not like they sell them online from my understanding. You can get some branded dumplings for World of Tanks, and there's some bonus codes and stuff in there if you want to get some, you know, stuff while you're out shopping, you know, food shopping. It's pretty interesting that they're doing branded dumplings. I thought this was hilarious, but you know, it's pretty neat. You can get some cool stuff from it. You can get a Soviet light tank 432. From my understanding too, like it says 15 pieces. This might just be a 15 battle rental. You get some gold, or no, 15 pieces. So maybe it's, never mind. The codes give different things, it seems like. And these are the amount of, I guess, branded dumpling boxes out there in the world. I'm sure someone's going to collect this box and like hang it on their wall or something. Obviously without the dumplings. Last but not least, for all these Chinese players watching me, which I highly doubt there's any, but for those that don't know, the Chinese server has never even gotten to World of Tanks 1.0. Finally though, basically World of Tanks Chinese players can rejoice. They're going to vault all the way over to the current updated patch. They're not going to go to 1.0, they're going to go all the way to 1.9 or 1.8, whatever they're going to be on first. But finally, you know, it's been about 2 years. They're going to make it, you know, with the updated graphics and all the other stuff that's come since then, because, you know, they've kind of been left behind. In any event though, thanks for watching. Turned out to be a little bit longer than I thought here, because the Q&A was a lot to go over, but some pretty good info. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.